as we begin tonight, our little story, Dark Ysterra, where would we find Odette? And Alex, as you tell us a little bit about Odette, describe them and tell us a little bit about who they are. If you could tell us where on this particular night they've laid their head to go to sleep.
Absolutely. Odette is an interesting figure you might meet in your travels. She's a fairly tall female. She wears dark armor. It seems as if it almost takes on kind of that oil quality to it, where it shimmers a little bit with that purple and the blue and just the right light. Wears a nice royal purple cape, although the ends are pretty tattered. She has the potential for a really pretty face, but years of fighting has scarred it up quite a lot. She does have a pretty piercing silver gaze, doesn't blink a whole lot. She kind of tends to stare through you when you talk to her, and her long curly black hair is put back in a ponytail and seems like as if it's going to burst out of the binding at any point. She wanders. She's a wanderer, and she's a protector. And she goes where her heart tells her, or at least where she thinks her heart's telling her. She doesn't really like to let the little person not stand a chance, and particularly if they are trying to seek something that others would not like them to be sought. This evening, she has found a nice tree root to curl up against. I think she has the cloak actually curled up behind her as a pillow, sleeping pretty uncomfortably, but that's nothing too new. She just needed some place to sleep, and this is the nearest place to sleep.
Excellent. And Mattis, as you lay your head down tonight, what would one see or notice? And if you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So Mattis is tall, standing a bit over 6 feet, very wiry, and has very unkempt, messy shock of red hair, green, emerald-colored eyes that almost seem to glimmer a bit in the moonlight. Generally speaking, he's a likable sort, kind of just seems like a casual fella to most folk, until he starts delving into his books, and then he becomes pretty focused on that to the exclusion of pretty much everything else, sometimes even his own health. And I think today you would find him, as the day closes in Amana, with, you know, the light of the two suns just barely peeking up over the horizon. He is probably settling down in a little room that he has rented over a tavern. Downstairs, there's probably musicians playing. Doesn't really seem to bother him, and he is intent on spending the next few hours combing through an old, worn, leather-bound tome that he has carried with him for quite some time at this point. Occasionally, if someone were spying in on him in his rented room, they might see his foot tapping a bit to the music, but other than that, he's probably ignoring the food, barely drinking any of the wine at the desk that he sits, and very likely falls asleep in whatever dim candlelight there is at the desk, with his head ending up resting upon the book.
And as both of you fall to slip into slumber, both of you will experience the same dream. Now, this dream may have occurred to you a few days ago, a few weeks ago, however long ago it was. But both of you will have experienced the same dream. As you fall to sleep, you are just in that moment, in that twilight moment when you are sort of half asleep, half awake still. The greatest moment where the mind is at its most fluid and at its most open and receptive. Both of you start hearing whispers. You hear whispers from afar, that start to grow in intensity. You try to rouse, try to move your head, try to look in a direction, try to sit up, but you can't. You know that sleep paralysis feeling, right? When you wake up and you can't move. You feel this has come over you. You feel unable to move. Your body won't respond to you. The whispers grow and grow and grow in strength, and as they do, your surroundings change. You find yourselves looking up at the sky, and then suddenly the whispers stop. You are on the darkling plain, alone. The sky of Ysterra is above you, and as you look up, you see 3 orbs. One deep purple color, one vibrant blue with flares of red occasionally sprouting forth from it, and another one smaller, gray. You see them moving way faster than the moons have ever moved before. You see them slowly moving. Sorry, not slowly. You see them quickly moving and aligning, one behind the other. And just as they line up perfectly so that they seem to be one, there's a sudden crescendo, the whispers rising. It's madness-inducing. You try to shut it out, but you can't. You feel as if the whispers are fingers that are entering your ears and going all the way inside your head and grabbing hold of your brain and sinking into your brain and into your soul almost. And then you see it. A 4th orb. Much bigger. Black with a golden red halo. It's moving in front of the other 3 orbs. And very quickly, it has swallowed the other 3 orbs. And in the sky, where the moons of Ysterra used to be, there is now this big, empty void, surrounded by a circlet of golden red flame. You wake up. You're in your room. You're at the foot of the tree. You sit up. Your chest feels constricted. You have sweat through your clothes. You try to catch your breath. You have this powerful sense of impending doom settling in on your shoulders. Your limbs are hard to move. You feel incredibly lethargic, as if there's this heavy weight that's bearing down on you. And even as you try to stand up, you find that this lethargy is not just physical, but it's deep set in your soul, and somewhere in the background you hear these whispers still. And then they start to fade away, and you regain a bit of vitality. And as you do, you hear a voice that speaks to you. A voice you may have heard before in some of your adventures. Greetings, my beautiful searcher. As you can see, the shadows appear to be hiding a secret from us. You hear their sweet, sweet song, don't you? I have need of you. Come to me and we shall peel back the shadows and reveal the secret they seem to be keeping from us. Travel to Thalin's Vigil, the last lighthouse. I shall meet you there. And as the voice fades away, you know who it belonged to. You know it was the voice of Delvorminath, one of the Ascendants. One that you have encountered before, one that you have, if not pledged yourself to, at least have found common interests. He is, after all, a seeker of knowledge, one who throws caution to the wind in the search of secrets and varied histories of the world. And as the voice fades and the presence of Delvorminath fades along with it, you are left staring at a dawn that seems to take a very, very, very long time to come. The sun barely inching its way up along the horizon. That far horizon that promises secrets and adventure.
See what you did there?
How do you two travel the Thalin's Vigil? Or I assume you do, otherwise we don't have a game.
I mean, there's a couple of other places. No, I'm kidding.
Shopping episode, beach episode.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Beach episode.
I think it's safe to say that Mattis will, being a Delver and having access to the myriad of ships that go in and out of Amana and sail across the inland sea of Entreskel, I think he will just use some of his contacts and whatever resources he has to get on the next ship that might be heading for the small area that oh my god, I can't believe I just forgot what is it called, the rivulet, whatever it connects the Sea of Entreskel with the Prime Sea, that bit of water where I know the lighthouse to be, probably without telling much to the people that he is sailing with, and instead just like trying to be that somewhat elusive, doesn't really talk about himself much, but is fascinated by everyone else's stories type of person. So deflecting interest, we'll say. Speaking of interest,
Maester Hypester, thank you so much for the raid. We appreciate you coming in and bringing your flock with you. We are playing some Dark Ysterra tonight. Yes, Miko has given me leave to, as in the Rolling Stone song, Painted Black. And that is what we are doing. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate you. My dear Alex, what of Odette?
I imagine new mission at hand. I approach my journeys with such confidence for knowing absolutely nothing about the way there. It's more that I assume the universe will provide. So like I imagine I start down the road and then so happen to meet a caravan that's heading in the right direction. And it just is, it's almost a domino effect of finding myself in the right place the right way. Knowing the direction obviously I need to go, but no real travel plans per se in mind.
I'm going to say that it takes both of you a little bit of time to get there, probably several days, if not the better part of a week. By the time you come into view of the lighthouse, you are road weary, dusty, your supplies are running low, and you are definitely looking forward to an evening of rest somewhere comfortable. But speaking of the wonderful lighthouse, a lighthouse is an interesting and rare sight in Ysterra, where ships tend to not take to the sea too much, for the seas are way too dangerous and turbulent. But there are still, within the internal seas of Ysterra, there are still ships that travel, and there are a number of lighthouses that dot the land, or the shore as it were. And this particular one, called Stormfall here at Thalin's Vigil, is the last one that marks the last safe spot before the open seas, which are, as we said, very dangerous. Thank you very much, Varl. for that donation. Advantages for everyone. Inside the lighthouse. The lighthouse, which belongs to the Thalan family, has had as custodian another family, a family of halflings who for a few generations now have been carefully tending to the lighthouse, making sure that the light stays on for this most crucial of lighthouses. Tell us a little bit, Kay, if you would, about Wist, is it? Or Wint, sorry.
Wint.
Tell us a little bit about Wint, and tell us, when they awake on this particular morning, where are they? What's their room like? Where are they sleeping? Tell us all these little details.
Absolutely. I imagine there is like a little room off of like one of the many parts of the staircase. So there's like a little room, a little nook where they sleep. There's a window to the outside where they can see directly to the where the calm of the sea meets the restless waves. It's pretty loud a lot of the time, but it gives them a pretty clear shot. The room is pretty sparsely furnished. There are some touches here and there of, there are carvings that Wint has made into the banister of their bed, and there's lots of flowers around, both in pots and just like freshly cut flowers in a sort of arrangement. When they wake up on this day, they're feeling okay, pretty chipper, I guess, for being alone in a lighthouse, and they will go about their kind of duties. They'll go up to the where the light is, and I imagine it's some sort of magical mechanism along with mirrors that are kind of suspended in a magical field, and they'll make sure that they're oh no, okay. Damn.
I'm very sorry. I'm going to have to start all that over because I really hate my Stream Deck, and I would like, if possible, to put it in a small box and put it on a shuttle and send it to Mars. Could anyone arrange that for me? That would be great. Thank you very much. Wint, as you wake up with the fresh sea breeze coming in through the window, the sunlight falling on you just so in your room, the cat who has been here far longer than you or even your parents have ever been here. No one has really understood this cat, but he's been here for a very long time, curled up on the covers at your feet. Your eyes open. You stretch. You can already smell the coffee that you're going to brew in just a few minutes. You can already taste the beautiful butter that you're going to spread on that nice, thick sourdough bread that the local baker, Andrew, has made for you. This incredibly fluffy, crusty... Oh, it's worth getting up in the morning just to get to that bread. You wake up, stretch, step out of the room, scratching yourself perhaps. And as you do so, stepping into the main kind of tunnel of the lighthouse, you hear something. Rather, you don't hear something. You don't hear the subtle but persistent grinding sound of the lighthouse mechanism turning. This surprises you a little bit because this has never happened before. You've never not woken up, and in fact, you're grown so used to it that it takes you a moment to realize what's amiss. But then you do. And you realize the light isn't turning. What do you do?
Shock of complete panic. And like just the thoughts like, of course this would happen this is the only time this has ever happened. I'm gonna sprint up to see what in the 3 moons is going on here.
You round the last corner, open the last door, step up onto the main platform up there, and usually when you come up here, you shield your eyes in case the light is just about to turn towards you, but now you don't hear those grinding noise, and as you step up, you can clearly see to your horror that not only is the mechanism not turning, and the way the mechanism is, it's this kind of big mirror kind of panel that's attached to a grinding system with gears that slowly rotates it, and at the center of that is a kind of pedestal with this receptacle where a number of crystals are placed. And the way the system works is that these crystals light up in turn to provide the light for the lighthouse. And when one is about to fade, another one lights up. And as these go around, and it usually takes the better part of a month to go around all of them, by the time we get back to the first one, it has refreshed itself and regenerated enough that it can light up. And this system has stayed here for who knows how long. But right now, not only is the mirror not turning, but the crystals are not glowing. You hear a meow as the cat, which that's his name, the cat, comes up and looks at what's going on and looks up at you as if asking, what are you going to do about it?
I'll look at the cat. I will. What do I do about this? Has this ever happened? Who do I call about this? I can't tell my parents. Oh no.
You realize there's no one to call. You realize that you're the person in charge. Now, there is a manual somewhere, and I'm sure if you dig deep through your memory, you might find some bits and pieces of information that you've been told at some point. What would you like to do?
I would like to go through my memory lighthouse and find out
your memory
where where this shit is.
I like it very, very much. Go ahead, my friend Kay, and I will have you do me let's do a old lore roll.
Oh.
Which for you is your intelligence times 2 on your modifier, so that's pretty solid.
Yeah, +5, so hopefully that helps here. That's great. That's a 21.
Excellent. You very clearly remember being told that you should not worry, that it was impossible for these crystals to fail. You do remember, however, that there is also a manual system, the crank, to restart the mirror. And you're thinking perhaps the two are linked. And if you restart the mirror and get it going again, maybe this powers up the crystal somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna crank it. And I'm going to evoke every single Ascendant name I can think of.
And as you evoke Ascendant after Ascendant and work on this crank all day long, and you get the mirror turning, but it turns with a lot of difficulty. Like, I don't know if you've ever tried to steer a car without power steering. That's kind of what it feels like, where you feel like you're fighting the thing and you're cranking and cranking it, and at no point do the crystals seem to light up. And as you're cranking and sweating and your back is starting to hurt and the cat's looking at you like you're failing.
This is too real. What? My cat does that.
You notice something on the corner of your eye. You notice that each of the crystals is cracked. There's no real indication how it happened. They don't look like they've been impacted by anything. There's no shards. They just look like they've cracked almost from the inside out.
I'm gonna try. Can I take them out? Or are they shards? Can I?
No, yeah, you could. So you reach in, you grab the first one, you pull it out, and as you do, it starts to crumble and falls into this fine, crystalline blue-purple dust that scatters over everything.
Okay. I look at the cat.
The cat looks at you and says, "Well then, it looks like you're in a bit of a pickle. You appear to have lost your light. Perhaps I can assist?"
Please? I knew there was something off about you.
As the cat takes his time, moving slowly around the mechanism, he emerges from the other side, looking very much like a halfling. It's very difficult to tell whether it is male or female, young or old. He's wrapped in this big brown and gold cloak that trails behind them. There is a glint of blue in the eyes. Long dark hair barely slipping out of the cowl. Pleasure to meet you. My name is Delvorminath.
Is he one of the or are they one of the Ascendant that I
Yes, or at least pretending to be.
Forgive me. Hello, Delvorminath. Thank you for. Have you always been the cat?
Part of me has. I do like to keep an eye out on my abodes, as being one of them.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Well, I've never had cause to, well, intercede before. But you seem to be in a little bit of trouble.
I think this is very much trouble. I am so. I don't know how. Do you know how this happened?
These crystals have a certain lifespan. It appears that they've reached the end of theirs. Now, thankfully, I know where you might be able to get some more, but they walk rather, over to the window and look down and goes, we have some guests. Would you mind terribly being a deer and running downstairs to welcome them? They'll be weary and in need of some rest and some food and drink, I would imagine.
Sure.
Oh, and so that you don't worry unduly, they reach into their cloak and produce a crystal very similar to the ones that you had there, except this one is red. And they place it down into the little receptacle where the crumbled one had been. And as they do, the whole mechanism starts to spin again. The light flares up, and the mechanism starts to spin, and the mirror starts to turn around. And the light that emanates is slightly redder than usual, but still quite doing its job. It takes a moment for the mechanism to kind of really get going again, but that should hold for a little while.
Okay, thank you. I release this huge breath of tension. I'll start running down the stairs.
When you arrive downstairs, Delvorminath is there waiting for you. There you are.
Can you bring me next time?
No, I'm sorry, it's not something I can do. There's a lot of magic has been lost to this world in the last few centuries, and well, the ability to travel quickly by magic seems to have been lost to this land.
Okay.
I used the back door. Would you get the front door?
Yes, please.
Mattis and Odette, you find yourselves arriving at the lighthouse at the same time as a third person. There is another man there, a human. He is tall, dressed in partial plate armor, carries a very big two-handed sword, has a dark face with a scar running down this one side of his face, and is wearing a cloak. And he pulls up on a horse looking like about 100 miles of difficult road. And the three of you arrive almost at the identical same moment, right in front of the lighthouse, which appears to not be functioning right now.
And what time of day is it as we arrive?
It would be fairly early morning. I would say like just before dawn kind of thing.
I think as everyone is kind of gathering up, you would see that Mattis is fairly well, like, it doesn't seem as road weary, obviously, because he was traveling on a ship, but is also kind of just fairly casual, and perhaps at first glance might even be just considered a passerby rather than someone here with purpose, as he seems to just be focused mostly on the lighthouse itself rather than the others approaching.
What's Odette doing as she approaches?
Looking, just doing a little threat analysis. Up, down, Mattis, not an issue. Just like instantly disregarded as a potential issue. Seeing what feels like my twin to the other side of me, though, causes a moment of kind of trying to clock the sword and the garb and the scar, all of it, and then back to the lighthouse. I don't think it's working.
That's mighty observant of you.
It is rather lacking in light. Thankfully, it's the middle of the day, or it'll be day soon enough, rather.
I was just thinking that maybe it doesn't need to operate at this time or something. I mean, it's also a relatively clear day without the fog and such, so most proper sailors are going to be able to see the chasms and the walls and, probably know very well where they're at. But oh, by the way, my name is Mattis. Being cordial and all.
Pleasure to meet you, Mattis. My name is Yorvin Dale.
Pleasure.
Odette Thornfell.
Would I be safe in assuming that you're following a dream here?
As soon as the dream is mentioned, there's a glimmer in Mattis's emerald eyes and a wry smile forms on his face. Oh, aye. There was a dream involved.
Well, hopefully this place contains a few answers. Not generally one to mine secrets and mysteries, but getting answers once in a while, especially after such a long trip, would be welcome.
I do an insight check on that to see whether he's deflecting or not.
You can definitely do that.
That is a total of 17.
You just get the feeling that he's a bit on his guard, like he doesn't really know too much who you guys are and all that, but it doesn't feel like he's being excessively dismissive or obfuscating.
Okay. I think then after that, Mattis just kind of disregards Yorvin as trivial and is now staring directly at Odette to gauge how she responds to such.
The look is just instant staring contest. But
no, you just haven't commented very much on, the whole mention of a dark dream, and so, I'm sorry, just dream. You didn't mention dark dream. But
to say, we didn't mention we all have dreams, I imagine.
Right.
We're all brought here to do
intelligent
dream.
beings and all of that,
That's a bold assumption, but sure. Intelligent beings. I don't question it.
Good. Sometimes these things are best left unquestioned, after all.
Hey, Little Bones, thank you so much, Boss Mama, for the raid. We appreciate it. Welcome in. We're playing some Dark Ysterra using the Lord of the Rings 5e variant, role variant by Free League Publishing. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope your stream was great. Hope you had a lot of fun. Boss Mama always has a lot of fun, we know that. As you are contemplating all of this, the door to... Alright, I'll never call Little Bones Boss Mama again. You see the door to the lighthouse spring open, and a halfling stands there. And did we get a little description of Went earlier, or did I cut you off too quickly?
I didn't describe what they look like.
Well, now's a good opportunity.
Well, okay. So they are short. They are halfling. They have a long for them kind of trench. They have they're dressed very, very well, impeccably. They have longer curly hair. I would describe them as kind of a stud. And they seem kind of excited when they open the door, and then they see that y'all are weird, and go, "Oh, I think I'm gonna regret this."
Are you the owner of this establishment? Says the man with the scar.
Yeah, I'm Wistfell. I'm keeper here. I think I should invite you inside. Do you know much about the Ascendant?
The Ascendant.
I know enough.
All right. Hello.
Nice to meet you, Wind. The name's Mattis.
Mattis?
Dad, and I'm thinking I know why the lighthouse wasn't working. You're very small. This is a very big building.
You notice as you say that now that the light seems to have started up again, and there's a very slow rotation as the thing is coming up to speed, and there's this amberish glow of light that seems to emanate, that even in the glory of the morning sun is quite visible.
Wind goes, okay. And you, sir? Did Delvorminath say?
My name is Jorvin.
Oh, Jorvin.
Did you dream also?
No, what did I dream about last night? I was chasing around a rabbit with a hammer.
That's exactly the same dream I had.
Okay. I am going to regret this. Please come upstairs. Let me tell you about our Ascendant Delvorminath.
Yara looks at the other two of you and just kind of gives a little eyebrow wiggle. He goes, Delvorminath, is he here?
They might be upstairs. Please come.
I actually wasn't expecting Delvorminath to be here.
As you say that, Mattis' eyes go wide, and he no longer cares about Wind, and he just moves past them to go inside as quickly as he possibly can.
As you walk into the main area of the lighthouse, you can see that there's a little table, and it's normally just a table for two people. So there's a second table that has been brought up next to it. And it's just a little shorter and kind of wobbly, so it's a little bit off. But now there's room for 5 people to sit around the table, and there are little different chairs and benches and a rocking chair that have been pushed up to it. And there are plates set out on the place, and you can smell coffee, and you can smell bacon cooking, and you can see this short figure wrapped in this dark brown robe that trails for almost a meter behind them, 3 feet for you Americans behind him, and a little bit of dark hair sort of coming out, and a little bit of whistling, a tune that is at once both uplifting and unsettling. And you see this short halfling that is busy working at the kitchen and burning some toast currently on the little fire. My friends, please come in. Come in, beautiful searchers. Please have a seat at the table. Aside from the toast, which I appear to have dreadfully destroyed, breakfast will be ready in just a moment. Do you have, my dear Wind, any more bread?
Oh, I think I have my stash. Give me a second. I'm gonna go run to my room and grab my secret bread stash.
You run upstairs and get this wonderful rosemary and garlic sourdough bread that your favorite baker Andrew has made. And you kind of have a bit of a hesitation as you pull it out of the hiding place, because this is your last stash. You're going to have to travel all the way to his bakery in order to get some more, and that usually takes a couple days. But it's not every day that an Ascendant comes to breakfast. You rush back downstairs, carrying your loaf of bread. What are the rest of you doing at this point, aside from gawping?
I'm only having the slightest bit of hesitation, like just a soul conflict of, I've been following the whims of someone who can't make toast. Fair enough. Just a little passing doubt, and then kind of redirect myself. And taking a seat at the table, eyes just kind of locking on and pulling out a seat if necessary, for anyone else that wants to sit next to.
Jorvin grabs a seat. He pushes back his cloak and goes, I've never had an Ascendant make me breakfast before, so I'm assuming that this is either going to go very well or very, very badly.
I think in one of the few instances in all of Mattis' life, he is speechless. And after everyone else sits while we're waiting for Wint's return, I think it's at some point during that he kind of, almost out of reflex, subconsciously pulls the chair out and sits, like, slowly just staring at Delvorminath this entire time. His mouth is probably slightly agape, and he has no chill in this moment.
On the table are a bunch of different jams, some honey. There are a few bits and pieces of vegetable that have been cut very roughly by apparently Delvorminath. There's a little saucer of cream and some coffee, and as Wint returns with the bread, Delvorminath is busy bringing a big plate of bacon and eggs and some other little fixings, some stuff you can't really recognize, but that looks fairly appetizing. All of it really infused with just this almost overwhelming amount of oregano. And he places everything on the table. He goes, the bread. Very good. Wint, would you mind handling the toast? I seem to have difficulty with that particular aspect of the breakfast making. Please enjoy. The coffee is freshly made. I don't think I burned that. You should be fine. But may as well discover whether or not it is. Please, help yourselves, enjoy yourselves, and once you have rested and fed yourselves, I will tell you why I have brought you here.
I don't think Mattis even touches the food unless, somebody actually pokes him and, he realizes that it's in front of him.
I would. Just like a little sharp elbow. The parent that's like, eat it, be polite.
Right.
Would anyone like some tea? The leaves are from my garden outside. I don't know if you saw. Anyone? Me?
Oh, tea would be lovely, and his eyes are just not leaving Delvorminath.
Nervin starts in on the food, pours some coffee all around. The toast arrive. Nice, thick butter to spread on it. After a while, you, I guess, start digging in. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. It's manageable. Delvorminath stands nearby and looks down at you with this happy look on his face, like he's watching his little family come together for a little breakfast in the morning, and he's quite proud of it. Was it good?
It was fine.
Matt, it was lovely, absolutely perfect and lovely.
Irvin's like, it was all right, but there was could use a little salt, a little more salt.
I think Mattis just casts a look over at Yorvin, just like staring daggers. Like,
well, perhaps next time I'll do better. Not often I do this. I don't think I've had to make breakfast in 300-400 years, so one gets rusty after a while. But nevertheless, please help yourself to some more coffee and allow me to help you. And he goes around and he cleans up the plates and he picks up everything and he kind of just dumps everything into the sink or whatever the big kind of wooden basin that's there for washing. He just kind of dumps everything in there. Napkins, food, everything all together. Like, well, there, that looks done. And he comes back towards the table and he's carrying a little bench with him and he pulls it up and he puts it down and he hops onto it. And well then, thank you so much for traveling so far to come and meet me. I truly appreciate it. I hope I haven't taken you away from anything too important.
nothing could be more important than this.
That is the truth. That is the truth. We are talking, in fact, about the very end of the world. Well, I'm being a little over dramatic. It's probably not the end of the world. It's probably just a little hick along the way. But let's just say that that's where the problem lies. I don't know exactly what it is. And I'm having difficulty finding out what it is. And as you know, those of you who know me well, know that while I enjoy the search and the discovery, I also really enjoy knowing. And such not being able to know, having shadows about me that I cannot peer into, is driving me a little mad. And then there's these whispers which are incessant. He seems lost in thought for a moment. His eyes kind of lose a bit of focus and he seems to drift off. Oh dear. He comes back. My friends, I would like you to undertake a short voyage for me. I would like you to undertake a short voyage, at the end of which I will ask you to investigate a certain matter and to bring back whatever information you can for me. Would you be willing to do this?
Of course, without hesitation.
Mattis, you were always one of the best, and he pats your knee.
Yeah, whatever you need.
Oh, thank you so much, Odette. You are also very kind. Yorvin says, yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of stuck. Should I call you my lord, my liege? Delvorminath will suffice. No need to stand on ceremony here. We're all friends. Very well. And then he kind of stops, and I will take control of all your characters for a moment. For a brief moment, as everyone slowly kind of turns and looks at Wind. Oh, I'm sorry, my dear Wind. Would you mind giving us the room for a few minutes? I must discuss with my disciples here.
Yeah, that didn't sound like you were talking to me. I wasn't really paying attention, so I'm really...
Oh, excellent.
Totally
There's a lot of dishes that need to be done over yonder. I'm sorry, I left everything in the basin. I meant to get to it, but I was
whatever.
distracted by the end of the world.
I'm gonna go do some gardening outside. Is this gonna help me also get the lighthouse functioning?
Oh, there is that particular...
You think on that? I guess I'll go.
And as you start to leave and walk out, the rest of you see Delvorminath staring at Wit, and you can clearly see an idea forming in his eyes. There's clearly something that now is like, and he literally does a
faster.
A wind. Sweet friend. I'm sorry, I was lost in thought there for a second. I do believe I know how to fix your lighthouse, my lighthouse. Please come and have a sit with us. I think you should hear what I have to say.
I don't think I could help you. I'm sure they seem very capable.
Wint, let me ask you a few questions. Have you heard of me before today?
Yes.
Would you consider yourself a follower or disciple of mine?
No.
Excellent. Please have a seat.
I will sit down.
My friends, have any of you ever heard of Tenebrum? Trick question. You have not. No one has. Tenebrum is an island that does not exist, at least on any map that has ever been drawn in this land. However, it is very much here. It is a few days sailing away from here. Tenebrum was not there before the Alevants, but during the... how do you pronounce it, Miko?
Aluvans.
Aluvans. During the Aluvans. However, during the cataclysmic event, as things everywhere changed and things were shattered and pathways were open and others closed, there was a small part of a world that exists somewhere across the cosmic rift that was pulled into this one with its inhabitants on it. This island has remained hidden for several centuries now. Partially of my own doing, I quickly sent some of my most faithful disciples to the island to investigate. We've been building something there, the details of which are not particularly salient currently. But it seems my usually very determined and self-guided disciples have lost their way. In the past few months, there seems to have been a strange lethargy that has swept across my followers on the island, rendering them unable and unwilling to, well, do much of anything really, let alone pursue the knowledge that I seek on the island. I would be very grateful if you would be willing to undertake this little voyage for me to travel to Tenebrum and see exactly what is going on and what's happening with my followers there and why they are becoming so lackadaisical.
Mattis has a very serious expression on his face. It's now kind of switched into problem-solving mode and is looking at Delvorminath not with the same wondrousness that he had been, but rather like an intense understanding. And he says, should we be concerned about our own fates on this island, should those of us who are followers of you succumbing to the same effect?
Well, I was just asking myself that same question, and he turns towards Wint. That is where Wint comes into play. I believe I had not given thought to the notion that perhaps it was something specifically tied to my followers that was problematic. Of course, the reflex to send more followers is a natural one, but what if it is? What if it is something that particularly affects those who are well in tuned with me? I believe Wint can be our little canary in the mine. As you are not a follower of mine, if you do not become affected by what is occurring on the island, then we will know that it is very specifically aimed at my followers, and I can take better steps down the line. Now, I have to stress here that none of my followers on the island have died. They're simply become very, very lazy, unmotivated, uninterested in the discovery of anything. They sit about, faffing, smelling flowers, drinking tea, enjoying the sky. All work has stopped, all research has stopped. But I believe that there is something occurring, something happening, that is causing these damn whispers, that is making my followers a little less zealous than before. Zealous than before. I would like you to go to the island and verify these theories for me. And while you're there, if you can find anything else, that would be very helpful also.
Pardon perhaps the most ridiculous question that I'm ever going to say in my lifetime. How is it that even you are not aware of whatever this malady is that has accosted your followers?
Normally, this would absolutely be the time where I would take matters into my own hands. However, there appears to be something about the island that is preventing me from traveling there. I have been there a few times in the past few decades to see how work progressed, but I've been unable to set foot on the island since.
How is it then an array of mere mortals would be able to step on this island when even a being of such power as you cannot?
I believe it is because there is something on the island that has become aware and is aware of those of certain presence, power, whatever you would like to call it. I have a feeling that someone who can slink in a little bit under the vigilance of this thing might be able to gain access to the island. If push comes to shove and you can't make it on the island, then you'll simply come back and be on your way, and that'll be that. But I believe it's worth to try. Plus, think about it. You'll be among the first several dozen people to set foot on this island. Think of the stories. Think of the discoveries. Think of the secrets hidden there. The shadows, the very shadows speak
by
to
no
us there.
means am I saying that I'm not going. I am, of course, going. I'm just merely asking the questions that, most prominent in my head before endeavoring on such a journey as this.
Oh, I appreciate your what's the word I'm looking for?
Fear?
No, your willingness to ask questions. There's a word, and if only there was an English teacher somewhere in the audience that could tell us what that word is, that would be great. But apparently there is not. Studiousness? No.
As soon as Odette says the word fear, Mattis just glances over at her, and you probably see an uncharacteristic bit of jealousy that you would have the gall to say such a thing in front of Delvorminath.
I'm not opposed to fear, Odette. Fear is good. It can be a motivator, and fear is usually a good sign that we are on the verge of something new. What matters is having the courage to take that step. Discovery awaits.
I'm going to raise an eyebrow and conveniently start, kind of just picking under my nails, listening, but recognizing I may have spoken out of turn.
Oh, please, speak your mind if you would.
It's not every day we get to the mission directly from the mouth, the face, the body, the all. We're just asking a lot of questions. It feels like doubt. But information gained is information gained. Just point me in the right direction.
I did not take your questions for doubt. Asking questions is how we get to where we're going. Asking questions is how we make discoveries. Asking questions is how we find what was heretofore unfound. You do well to ask questions. I'm certain that amongst all these questions that you have is how will we be getting to this island, dear Delvorminath?
I'll be honest, I had considered it, but did not want to make false assumptions that we had to figure out such a way as ourselves.
Oh, no, I will see you through to the island. We will be using the third. We'll be using the third, but I'll explain that in a little bit. My dear Wind, I am sorry that this has been sprung upon you so unexpectedly, but on this island is where I found this red crystal that I used to get your lighthouse working again. I found it several decades ago, but I would assume that there are still plenty of them.
Okay. I think I will do it. I don't want to be a canary. Is there anything, any extra protection you can offer me so that I can continue to attend to your lighthouse, your one of your domains? The cat?
The lighthouse will fend for itself for a little while. It is more important to me right now that we test this hypothesis that I have. Well, whether or not my followers are the ones who are being affected by this. The local inhabitants don't seem to be affected by it, which is perhaps a piece of information I had not given you. But all those who've come from off the island seem to be. I think it would be very important, this little experiment that we're doing, to have a control subject. And that would be you. I will tend to your lighthouse while you're gone. I will not be wanting for anything. You will find it exactly as it is when you return. And you will be doing me a great service.
Okay.
And around these parts, services, just like curiosity, are always well rewarded. Besides, wouldn't it be great to go on an adventure again? Haven't you been semi-retired here for long enough already?
Yeah. It'd be nice to get away.
Wint used to be an adventurer of some repute, I'll have you all know.
I think Mattis just kind of glances in Wint's direction with a bit of curiosity, but also more interest than he had shown before, kind of acknowledging that if, Delvorminath says such a thing, then Wint must be exceptional indeed.
I used to run Wint's Wisterias. It was Teleflora. Have you ever heard of it? No. I was a florist. It didn't do well. I started delivering. and sometimes we get into some scrapes, the bandits, whatever.
As one does in the flower business.
Floral bandits.
Hey, you see you have a cartload? They don't know what you got.
Odette looks off-center into the camera that's not there.
My friends, I see that you are in need of some rest. Please take the rest of the day to rest, resource yourself. I will take care of some business. At dusk, I will return to you and I will provide you with the means of accessing the island. Any of you still here at dusk, I will assume have agreed to go on this little trip. If you desire to... Where are you going? As Yorvin gets up. You see him walk across the room, rolling his sleeves up. Like, well, these dishes ain't gonna do themselves. And he goes over to the basin and fills it with water and starts doing dishes. Oh, man after my own heart. I will assume that anyone who's still here at dusk when I return is signing up for this little jaunt to the island. It'll be a lot of fun, and there are very, very, very many mysteries to unfold there. Thank you all so much. I will see you later tonight. Please get acquainted meanwhile, and get some rest. You'll need all the rest you can get.
Certainly, sir.
He gets up. I shall return at dusk. And he very naturally, like nothing else in the world, just walks up to the front door, opens it, pulls his train of cloak behind him, doesn't get stuck under the door, and then closes the door.
That Delvorminath, I had a cat. The cat's been here longer than I have, and then Delvorminath came out of the cat, and now I don't have a cat anymore.
We'll find you another cat.
If I come back.
I'll protect you.
Well, aside from this cheese that is stuck to this plate here as Yorvin is grating the cheese away with a wooden spoon, that's quite a turn of events. I, for one, am kind of excited to go and see this island. I don't know how we're going to get there. I'm sure it's going to be pretty exciting. Just think about it.
The interesting thing to me is that I've sailed all over the Sea of Entreskel, and there's no such islands that anyone could possibly have found. And it's very intriguing to me at this notion that if it, the implication is that it's out in the Prime Sea, which we cannot sail. So that means that there's some kind of magic going to be involved in us getting there. And I can't wait for that experience, whatever it might be.
I'm wondering why. Because it has to have been him. Why has he kept it secret for all these years? Why has he hidden it?
Because he's the master of secrets?
Yes, but you'd think that since we can't sail the sea, then no one would have seen it anyway.
You know that we're not the only beings that Delvorminath keeps secrets from.
And that's why I'm very excited about it. Think about it. Who will meet? What will meet? What will try to eat us?
Okay, that last bit I'm not too keen on, but, everything else, very much so.
Oh, he gestures to Odette. We seem to have quite a fearsome warrior with us here. I'm certain we'll be kept safe. What say you, Odette? Are you used to a little bit of the steel crossing, a little bit of the melee?
Could just kind of get a cheersing motion, lift the coffee that Delvorminath had made, and take a drink, and then turn to kind of spit back into the cup. Yeah, fighting's no problem. And putting the coffee back on the table.
Excellent. And you, aside from being a florist of some repute, Wind, do you have any sort of experience out in the wild?
I have bow skills. I have running skills. I can do a little dance when I deliver a message. What in particular are you looking for?
No, those all sound very, very useful. And I assume that you, Mattis, also have a bit of experience in the field.
Well, I am a delver for my mana, after all, and we do our fair bit of going places that people haven't been in quite some time, and, you know, there's a bit of danger involved and such. I did manage to almost get crushed to death by the depths of the sea once. That was an interesting experience, but, you know, survived it.
Well, I feel very good about this. I seem to... Delvorminath seems to have pulled together a cracking team. I think we're going to be just perfect for this. I'm going to go and catch a few Z's, and then perhaps... is there... can we maybe get a bath or something going here, Innkeeper, or... Looking at you.
Innkeeper?
Aren't you... Isn't this your
No.
place?
This is my place, but if people don't stay here, you can stay on the main, like the base floor. I don't have any bedding for you, sorry. And
that's fine.
I can show you where I wash up. At least you can have that.
Excellent. Sounds great.
I'm not sure where that would be.
In the washroom.
The washroom.
Yeah, the washroom. I'm not in a third space pocket. I don't know where it is.
How will you all then while away the hours in the afternoon until Delvorminath returns, and takes you away to the island?
I think a good bit of it, Mattis, is journaling, like detailing every possible thing that he can remember about the whole experience of meeting Delvorminath, and also documenting in great detail meeting the other three companions that are going with him on this quest. Like so detailed down to like the smallest minutia of what battle scars appear on Odette and Yorvin's armor. Even.
Excellent. How is Odette going to spend time?
Going to start off by looking over Mess's shoulder and trying to correct details.
You would find very few details that need correcting, I assure you.
Yeah, that's not the fun for her, though. Just like a little bit of trying to change the details, or not, I imagine does not work. You do see finally a smirk kind of break her face, thoroughly amused through her own humor, and going to probably take, you see like there's a rocking chair somewhere, just grabs a chair, puts the feet up, and it's one of the type of people that can pretty much just sleep anywhere. So she's going to take herself a nap unless otherwise needed.
Wint, my good fellow.
Yeah, I think Wint is gonna go to the garden that I've mentioned 80 times, and I'm gonna go tend to whatever flowers that I have out there, pick up any like herbs that I know are good for digestion, or like something that could be used to make a salve, you know. And then I don't know, I think I probably have some, not livestock, maybe livestock animals. So I'll feed some of them, try to figure out how to keep them fed while I'm away for however long.
You have a neighbor. He's a dwarf, and he's not quite a farmer per se, but he does have, you know, some gardens around his house. He's also, like you, semi-retired, and he is more than happy to come by and check on your animals if you ask him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll go down the street to go and chat with him, and eventually make my way back.
And I see you have herbalism tools, so why don't you go ahead and give me a nature roll, and we'll see if you get anything of interest in your herbs. And because you do have the herbalism tools, I'll let you roll it with advantage.
Oh, with advantage. Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, shit. So that is a 14, which is not bad. I don't think.
All right, excellent. So I will say that you managed to get enough to make 2 healers kits worth.
Oh, shit. Okay. Like shit in a good way, not shit in a bad way.
Whilst this is happening, whilst you're trying to rest or working on your journal, you find once in a while you catch a whisper, like someone in the other room talking, or someone kind of close to you talking. You look and you don't see them, and these whispers start becoming kind of insistent and start really kind of bothering you, preventing you from sleeping, preventing you from focusing on what you're doing. And it's very strange because it's a language that you don't understand, yet you kind of get the feeling that ideas are being transmitted and kind of passed on to you, but it seems as if it's something or someone far away and it doesn't quite reach you yet. However, I am going to ask everyone to give me a charisma saving throw. At this point, you can do them with advantage, and Kay, you don't have to do it.
I got a 15.
Got a nat 20. 24.
Nat 20, excellent. There's no lasting effects from these various whispers. You will get some rest. You will work on your journals. You will prepare your herbs, this, that, the other, and sort of get yourselves ready for the return of...
I did have one other thing I wanted to do.
Oh, yes, please, go ahead.
Yeah. Kay, is there anything apparent upon Wint that would indicate any ascendant that they might worship?
I don't think so.
Okay. I think then in that case, Mattis will also, after journaling a bit, spend a little bit of time and carve on a small wooden medallion a bear's face upon one side, and then hidden upon the other side is actually very subtly, like, it's scribed as if to look like waves, and hidden within the waves is a pair of eyes, which Wint would not recognize, but the others might recognize one of the subtle hidden symbols of Delvorminath. And he is going to use his runecraft and instill magic in this symbol. And then he will come up to Wint at some point before dusk settles in. And he will say, "Oi there, Wint. I don't do this often, but I thought I might present you something since we're about to go on a quest together, and you seemed a bit unsure of things earlier, and I just wanted to offer you this gift to help you feel more confident about the journey." You see that, and he holds it up, and you see this very crudely crafted, outline of a bear's head. This is Nocturnus, a guardian of twilight, as it were, and I can do this kind of magic a few times here and there, every now and then, and I thought I might offer this to you to hold, and if you keep it on your person, it might help protect you a bit. Mechanically, it'll give you +1 to your saving throws while you hold it.
Sick. I will gingerly take it and I'll say, "Hey man, thanks," and I'll pat you very platonically on the whatever I can reach.
He's pretty tall, so
like the forearm.
Pat you very platonically on the butt, like a football player.
Yeah, good job, guy.
As you manage to get a little bit of rest and get yourselves ready. Wint, just around dusk, you've finished tidying up outside. You've gotten, the food and the water laid out for your animals so that Rory the dwarf can, take care of them. Your hands are dirty, your face is dirty, you're very sweaty from all the work you've been doing, and just as you're thinking, might be time to maybe go and get a bit of a nap before Delvorminath shows up, just to make sure you're like primed and ready. You see something you've never seen before. You see the waters just outside of reach of the island start to churn. And you can see almost kind of like a whirlpool being created, and bubbles and water splashing, and this whirlpool keeps growing and growing and growing, and eventually you see the water kind of start to like sink in. Inside, a lot of you are becoming aware of something occurring outside. There's this loud whooshing sound and a lot of water splashing, and when you look outside the window from wherever you are, you see the same thing. You see this enormous amount of water outside that's being displaced. And as you look, out of the water emerges an island. A small island, not very big. Maybe like, it would take you maybe like 3-4 minutes to cross. It's very small. But to see the trees come out and they're dripping down, and they're looking like palm trees, and the water's just kind of dripping down off of them, and you can see the grass is starting to kind of, as soon as it comes out of water, it's starting to like shake itself off and the water splashes. And the island just sits there for a little while. Ah, Wint. I see the third has arrived. How are you holding, good fellow? You seem to have, and he takes a little handkerchief from his pocket and he licks it and he starts. You seem to have had a bit of a rough day.
I was doing some gardening, getting everything prepped for however long I'll be away.
No, I assume it would only be a few days.
Hope so.
Come out, everyone. The third has arrived. Time to be on our way.
I think whatever Mattis had been doing, he is like now giddy with excitement at this point, and immediately just starts scooping all of his things up into his arms and then haphazardly stuffing them into his satchel as he is like fleeing out to get to whatever the third is.
Jorvin comes down from wherever he was sleeping, also yawning and stretching, carrying his kit with him. And a lot of you assemble outside on the cliffs, overlooking this island that's just sitting there. And Delvorminath's looking on like, been quite a while since I've seen you, third. It's a pleasure to see you again. Well, friends, are you ready to travel to Tenebrel, to discover whatever lies in the shadows over there? Secrets, I'm sure, which will both amaze and terrify you in equal measure. Aren't those the best secrets?
Very much ready.
Very well. Let us go then. And he claps his hands and he says, third, if you would, and rising out of the water, you see this enormous head, followed by this long, sinuous neck. It is not scaly. It is almost as if it is covered in this fine down, the water just sort of sluicing off of it and shedding off of it, and this enormous sea serpent kind of creature emerges from the depths, and the water that it displaces washes all over the shore and almost floods a whole bunch of homes that are just lying there on the side of the street, some of the fishermen homes and some of the huts and so on and so forth. Water just flooding sort of everywhere, and this ginormous creature storm just rises out. And when you look up, it is like 50, 60 feet up in the air is the head as it kind of looks down on you. And it's got these long hairs under its chin that are moving slowly and just spreading water everywhere. And literally it's as if there's a summer storm that has just opened up over your head as water comes pouring down, drenching all of you from head to toe.
I'm clean.
Ah, yes. The third largest creature in all of Ysterra.
What are the other two?
Story for another day. But for now, if you would, third, and the creature's huge tail kind of slowly lumbers over the water and settles down on the cliffs right near where you are. I think you will find the little island to be... He will not submerge, of course. The little island will be quite comfortable for you to live on. You should, by sometime around dusk tomorrow, arrive at the island. I wish I could go with you. Unfortunately, this is where I must leave you, but I have all the faith in the world in you. There are plenty of secrets in the shadows of the island of Tenebrum, and I would hope that you might be able to pluck 2 or 3 of them and carry them back with you.
Will we be taking the third back?
Yes, once you are ready to return, I hopefully will know, and we'll make arrangements. My beautiful searchers, who are embarking on perhaps the greatest adventures of your lives. In addition to accomplishing my wishes, of course, I hope you enjoy it and find equal measure of pleasure and happiness and joy and delight in the adventure at hand. Now off you go.
For the second time in 12 hours, Mattis is speechless and immediately just starts heading towards the offered tail. And as he climbs up to start making his way onto the island, the back of this creature, he starts mumbling to himself, like, all of the details of what he sees, and, says fascinating several times, and just seems lost in the exploration of this experience.
Irvin looks at the 2 of you that are left behind and says, I'm sure this is going to be so much fun. I can't wait for it. And he toddles off after Mattis.
Is he genuine? Is that genuine?
Yeah, he seems really excited. He seems to... really...
I don't know if I should take that as something I should be confident in. Let's go, I guess.
Put a hand on Del's shoulder. Just kind of give a nod. I'll make sure they come back.
I know you will. And don't worry, Odette. I know you don't know everything, but there are things in the far future ahead for you.
For everyone, I imagine.
Well, at least for you, for now.
Just gonna give a little bit of a nod and follow after what and be like, do you need a hand? And like trying to offer a little uppies.
I got it, thanks.
You find your way onto the island, and as the creature sort of half submerges and starts to move, and Delvorminath waves at you from the cliff, you find a little promontory. There's like a little path that leads up, and when you climb it, at the top of it, there is this little cabin there, and there's a fire burning, and there's a little cabin with some amenities and whatnot for you all at the top of this little promontory, and from it you can kind of see the whole of the island beneath you, and the receding shoreline, and you watch, perhaps with a little bit of sadness, Wint, as you watch this ginormous lighthouse, which has been your home for a few years now, receding away. You see the light of it paler than it normally is, spinning slowly around. And as a lot of you turn to face the horizon and whatever awaits for you there, you are fairly certain that whatever it is will be a lot more than you've bargained for. And on that, we'll take a break, my friends. My friends, we are back aboard a giant sea serpent. I was like, hey, yeah, and then he's just gonna teleport you to the island because like there's no teleportation in my world. I was like, oh well, I went to that's a pickle. How do I get people on the island? Hey, and
I like this method of travel better.
Ian's in the chat. Who knew? Are there really two others? Your boy Biggs. Travesty. It's a crime. My friends, our heroes have been brought together by Delvorminath, one of the Ascendants, to travel to an island named Tenebrum, an island that doesn't exist on any maps. That he says came from another world during the Alluvance, which was a cataclysmic event that occurred, 1,000 years ago, Miko?
Yep.
To investigate the fact that his followers there, because he, of course, sent some followers there to build something. He was a little bit sus and shady about exactly what that was, but he sent a bunch of followers, and his followers have been falling under this strange spell of lethargy, and there's these whispers that keep coming and trying to infiltrate our heroes' brains as they travel aboard the third largest creature in the world of Ysterra, which who knows if that's true or not. I don't think that we can really take much of what Delvorminath says for pure cash. Atop this creature, you've found an island. You've walked up along a path and have found a little promontory on which is a little cabin. There's a space for you to build a fire once everything kind of dries out in the sun. And hold on, there's a plane landing somewhere, I think.
Could be anything.
Yes, there is a promontory upon which you have found a little cabin, a fire, a place to rest, and as hey, thank you very much, Dirty Rollers. Is that a raid? Did I just miss a raid?
No, just saying hi.
Oh, hey, what's up, Dirty Rollers? You have made yourselves at home, have found beds, have stored away your equipment, have dried out because you were drenched. So you hung out your clothes to dry, maybe a little bit over the fire, things like that. And now the night has fallen. For real, you find yourselves dry next to the fire, enjoying perhaps a little bit of tea or some wine or whatnot. Yorvin has pulled out a little mandolin from his bag and is playing a little ditty. As a lot of you relax after a little meal, I am going to go out on a limb and say that perhaps Wint has prepared the meal. Having brought all the veggies and whatnot.
Yeah, maybe a little begrudgingly, but yeah, they'll make something. It's probably, I'm gonna say it's better than Delvorminath.
Well, it's probably not burned.
Yeah.
Night settles in. The evening's getting quiet. Is there anything you would like to do before sleep takes you away again? One more time.
I mean, I just imagine there's some nice chit-chat happening around fire. I don't think anyone here is super standoffish. I could be wrong. Mattis, really, truly, can't get a word out of the guy. But I know myself, being particularly interested, and I think maybe if the wine goes a little bit extra hard. Wait, I just need to know, floral bandits, are these really a threat?
Yeah, okay, so there was one time someone was trying to steal my bit, so they were trying to do the Teleflora business, so then they kind of hired a little bit of a mob to scare me. But I had to kind of fend them off. There was another time that I think someone had gotten a tip that someone important was coming past, but instead it was me in my cart, so they jumped me instead. I've never attacked anyone. It's always been in self-defense.
The constant staring eyes squint. I cannot tell if you're messing with me or not. I legitimately cannot tell if this is a real story or I cannot wrap my brain around either which answer. Do you adventure? Have you adventured? Is this? I deliver messages, and so sometimes those messages get asked for by important people, and that makes more sense than floral bandits. But, okay. And lean back in my seat with whatever the red solo cup fantasy version is with my wine. And it's curiosity satisfied for the time being.
Okay, I'm glad, I think. What do you all do when you're not directly serving Delvorminath?
I don't understand this question.
What do you do in your free time? What do you do for work? Are you just acolyte?
You all earn money?
Sorry, I guess it was muted again.
Oh no!
Yeah, Yorvin says that he works as a bounty hunter, bringing back people to face the consequences of their actions.
Mattis, you too do things, earn money?
Being a delver in Amana is actually quite lucrative, in fact. The museums and universities and occasional patrons with more wealth than, smarts and intelligence often pay handsomely for lost bits of things that we recover from the sea or from the mountains nearby and such. It's not a bad living. I've been doing it for about, 2.5 decades or so at this point.
Doesn't show. And then just staring over the fire, what have I been doing with my life?
What have you been doing with your life?
So much wandering, so many not good meals, and not sleeping in inns, and just thinking, doing the good guy's work. We have soft regrets in this moment.
I have a question for you, if you don't mind. Well, aside perhaps from Wint, we're all here at the behest of Delvorminath. We all serve him in some way, shape, or form. Why exactly is it that you have found yourself so well aligned with Delvorminath that you have chosen to devote at least part of your life to him? Mattis, would you care to share?
No.
See, you not wanting to share now makes me just want to know more, since I am a follower of Delvorminath.
Exactly.
How can I induce you into sharing, then?
Alright, I'll tell you this much. The knowledge that I uncover every day in Imana is intriguing in the likes of ways that the mundane man living about his day or traveling the wilds or delivering flowers even could not possibly comprehend without the guidance of someone such as Delvorminath. I am certain that I would have gone mad 10 times over with the things that I know. And that's that.
Intriguing response. Leaves room for more questioning later. I like it.
No way.
What about you, Odette?
You expect me to follow that answer?
Well, I'm sure you've had a lot more experience leading from the front than following from the rear, but I would assume you can adapt.
My strength is not so much in obtaining madness. I found at a young age I'm well equipped to defend those who need it.
But how does that connect you to Delvorminath?
There was a time when I should have defended someone who was simply speaking their truth that they discovered. I seek to escape the shame that I feel by helping those searching for truths.
To a facilitator more than anything.
Yes.
In a manner of speaking.
Mm.
And you, Wint, what do you make of all this Delvorminath secrets nonsense? Now that you've been forcefully brought into our world.
Yeah, Delvorminath. Out of all the Ascendant, I don't know. It's like not the most duplicitous, but I can't imagine that this is gonna go well.
It's gonna be perfectly fine, I assure you.
I guess we'll find out, but I don't think even Delvorminath doesn't really know the nature of the island, or they gave us no direction. So what are we going to find? We have no idea.
Well, I think that Delvorminath is interested in people who like to find things, and so I think that giving us all the information would have been quite against his nature. If I may, I would share with you the answer to the question that I asked you, why I find myself in league with Delvorminath. I find that it comes down to a very basic equation. The opposite of knowledge is ignorance. I think that most of the things that hurt us, that find a way to erode our societies, the world we live in, our families, the connections that we have with other people, are things that emerge from ignorance. Ignorance breeds fear, and fear breeds illogical action. In Delvorminath, in his desire and drive to uncover things, to educate himself, to gain knowledge, to accumulate wisdom, he effectively, bit by bit, destroys ignorance. And we could all do, I believe, with a lot less ignorance. And so I do my part.
Cheers to that, my friend.
Just to all your searchers after truth.
And those along for the ride, I guess.
Perhaps that is because there is a truth for you to uncover. Delvorminath rarely sets upon a path unless he knows there is something worth uncovering at the end. And I would assume he would do the same with you.
I'm curious about you something now, Wint. I noticed that you don't have any particular affiliations with any Ascendant over another. Why is that? the vast majority of the world, as much as it might be waning in, modern times, the vast majority put their faith in at least one of the Ascendant, if not more.
Well, I guess I know that they all have their benefits and they all have their drawbacks. They all have their flaws, their hubris. I think that keeping the door open, I don't know. I feel I like to keep the door open. This morning, or yesterday, that's weird. When I woke up to find that the lighthouse was no longer working, I yelled for all the different Ascendant, and Delvorminath was the one that showed up. So I don't know if that was destined or what, but.
So what happened with the lighthouse? You mentioned that it had some problems, and now I guess part of our quest is not only to discover the ailments of lethargy that are going on here, but rather also to find you some crystals to help fix Thalen's vigil.
That's exactly it. These crystals have. I was told that there was no way that they could ever stop functioning. As far as I know, there was nothing to show that something like this could have ever happened. It was not a possibility. But every single crystal, of which there are tens of, all broken in some way. When I touched them, it just disintegrated in my hands.
Right, so two things. First of all, whoever fucking told you that they're going to last forever, they're idiots, first of all. Okay, so just get that out, just putting that out there right there. Some imbecile who built the thing probably thought it would last forever, and it probably outlasted them. So, as far as their forever is concerned, it worked. But for the rest of us, the intelligent folk, idiots. I'm very curious, though, about the crystals turning to nothing, disintegrated in your hand and such, because that implies that there's external influence going on. It's not quite as simple as just the crystal, they don't work like that. It's not as simple as all that. They might fracture and fragment and, that sort of thing. It just seems like there might be more going on there. And now I'm even more curious, because if this was something that Delvorminath was wanting to see investigated, it means that he understood in some capacity what that might have been. And so you're not here by chance. I think we knew that going in. You're not a canary, as it were, to the phrase that was used earlier. This to me is starting to reek of connected events.
They were. Well, I did mention that Delvorminath came out of the cat.
Right, and they're Ascendant. They can take whatever forms they want, and all of that sort of thing.
Just means that the cat was fucking with me for years, knocking shit over.
No. I
destroyed the crystal.
Okay. As the resident lore master here, and he just kind of looks at all three of them. Yes, I'm very confident in saying the resident lore master here. I can attest quite clearly that the cat was not Delvorminath from the beginning. They were probably just a cat, and at some point during this time in which Delvorminath was keeping an eye on you, they decided to become the cat. And very likely, even now, your cat is probably floating around somewhere around Thalen's vigil, having a grand old jolly time. So I wouldn't worry over much that Delvorminath might have been screwing with you for however long you've had your wee little furball.
Okay, good.
Counterpoint. We don't know that either.
I mean, certainly, Delvorminath can do whatever he wants, but I'm pretty confident in my assumptions there.
Well, I guess when we return, we can ask Delvorminath. Was he the cat all along? Which came first, Delvorminath or the cat?
100% certain Delvorminath was first.
Can you ever be 100% certain?
Yes, I can.
No
I mean,
evidence?
If Delvorminath was going to show up as anything, I do believe it would be a cat. Those little buggers always seem like they know a little bit more than they should. In any case, this has been very enlightening and entertaining. I think we should probably get some rest. I will offer myself as victim and offer to take the first watch, though I don't see what could happen to us on this desert island on the back of a sea creature. But I wouldn't mind staying out here by the fire a little longer and plucking on my mandolin. So if a lot of you want to go in and grab a little bit of rest, I'll wake one of you up at some point.
That's fine by me.
I'll take it.
You make your way inside the house, find your little corners that you've chosen for yourselves, a couple of you in, on the second floor, and some of you on the ground floor. You settle in for the night. The events of the day, of course, being very kind of over the top and kind of crazy, nonetheless seem kind of par for the course for people who have, given their service over to Delvorminath. And as for you, Wind, it's been a day. It's been a year and a day almost, really. But nonetheless, there's this feeling that you hadn't experienced in a while. This feeling that you used to have regularly when you were a bit more of an adventurer running your florist business and so on and so forth. And I think there's probably a little bit of excitement, perhaps, that would kind of start settling into your chest and kind of making you maybe a little giddy. I don't want to tell you what you feel, but I think there would probably be a little bit of that sort of going on. You all try your best to find some sleep. All of you fall asleep with the sound of whispers in your ears, in your dreams again. And this time, when you witness the dream also, you see that conjunction of the three moons again, looking up at the sky, but this time everything seems kind of isolated. And as the three moons are merging one into each other, one behind each other, disappearing and forming one, you see in its glow below on the dark waters of the ocean an island that sits there dark and kind of foreboding, and the whispers seem to be coming from this island. And once again, this other massive black void of a sphere moves in front of the other ones. The sphere is surrounded by this golden red halo, moves in front of the other ones. I would like each of you to roll me a d10, or d10 is fine. And tell me what you get.
10.
5.
Oh, jinx.
Mattis, you hear these whispers, you see this island, you see these moons kind of conjoining in the sky, hiding one behind the other, this eclipse happening. And suddenly you wake up, your eyes bursting open, your chest again kind of feeling that strange constriction that you did the first time you had the dream, trying to catch your breath. And as you do, it takes a second, you kind of have to blink to see if you're seeing correctly, but peering at you through a rent in the roof is the face of a creature. It looks almost bat-like, but it's large, like easily human size. It's got these this white skin, and as it looks down on you with its red eyes, its fangs appear, and this creature hisses at you. Its skin starts to change color. It becomes this luminescent purple, and part of its chest and hands and tail start to glow orange. And you've not seen much in your life that resembles this, but you know enough to know that this is the sign of a creature that's about to attack. What would you like to do?
Because Mattis has lived the life that he has, his crossbow is sitting just to the side of him, I'm assuming that he isn't suffering any sleep paralysis or anything from the dream and such. So just reaches out, grabs onto the crossbow, and shoots a bolt right up into the creature in the roof.
Excellent. Well, my friends, if you would like, we will go ahead and turn our attentions to our little map here.
Oh, joy.
Here you are on the little promontory that I was describing earlier. Outside by the fire is Yorvan, and you hear sounds of fighting coming from out there. Inside the building, you are... Bring us a little closer here. You are, Odette, on the bottom floor, and you are awoken by the sound of screeching or not going on. Both Wint and Mattis were sleeping on the sort of second floor there, and both of you now see two of these creatures ripping through the roof of this place and coming in for you. I will give you, Mattis, a shot. One of the things, Mattis, that you feel is you feel like something warned you. Like, you feel like this creature should have surprised you and kind of been able to get the jump on you. But you get the feeling that there's something around here that prodded you awake just at the moment before this thing kind of came through. So you get a sense that there was some sort of warning somehow that happened, but you're not sure exactly what that was. But I will let you get a shot off at this thing before we get into the initiative.
18 to hit.
Hold on. I'm just going to try to get my stats. Which are somewhere here. 18 to hit. Hits! Go ahead and give me some damage as your bolt flies true and skewers this thing.
5 damage.
5 damage. Let me just write these hit points down. Mattis, this one. The one over on Wind's side is this one. Outside is this one. Okay. 5 damage as your bolt pierces it and it shrieks in pain. And we will do our initiative now. I will ask you in a second to tell me what you got. Oh, that's bad. Just I want to select the characters.
I can select the characters individually.
Yeah, I know, but do it normal.
They have been making some changes to Owlbear lately, so there might be some UI thing that's different now.
Okay. Hold on. I think I know. Oops.
Do you want us to put our initiatives on our tokens?
Hold on a sec. Just
Okay.
give me 1 second. I'm gonna try one more thing, and if it doesn't work, we'll do it. Yeah, no, I, for some odd reason, used to be able to add everyone to initiative separately together, but now you can't.
Oh, you mean from the initiative tracker? Gotcha.
Yeah. Used to be able to just select.
Right.
All right. Here's all. Okay. So I got a bad 4. What did Wind get?
12.
What did Odette get?
6.
You with advantage?
Yeah. With advantage. 6.
Mattis? Mattis, what'd you get, sorry?
19.
Sweet. And Yorvin, 8. Wow, we're all going pretty slow. Well, at 19, Mattis, what would you like to do?
I will burst out of bed. Now, you had described us as being in kind of Wint and I being in, okay, so it is a loft, so
yeah.
It would be easy for us to get down.
Oh yeah, you could just jump down, or there's a ladder there.
Yeah. Being the adventurous sort that Mattis is, I think he like grabs onto the edges of the ladder and, you know, does that thing where you slide down the ladder to the bottom. You know, still has his crossbow in his hand. It's unloaded right now. And so he will call out to Odette. If, you know, I don't think he registers whether or not she's actually awake. This is happening like as he's coming out. He will yell out to Odette, seems like we've got some trouble. And I don't think I can actually use that ability yet. Yeah, I can't use that ability yet. Frick. As he's sliding down, then just before he reaches the ladder, he will reload his crossbow and take another shot. So bonus action to reload and then
Okay,
take another shot. Oh, that's I'm gonna use an. You want us to do it before we roll, don't you?
Yeah, I prefer that.
Yeah, I rolled a natural 1, so.
Oh, all right. You shoot off. I don't know where you load the crossbow and then kind of
over the shoulder, just without looking, take the shot.
Fire
completely
it
missing.
shoots off outside, and you totally missed the thing. So you can move wherever you want inside the house. So you can place your token wherever you would like to have it.
He's heading for the door because he assumes that something is also going on outside.
Excellent. Wint, you wake up just in time. Again, you feel the same thing, that something kind of warned you or gave you a little kind of nudge just before this thing came through, and you realize that it's almost as surprised as you are to kind of see it there. What would you like to do?
So, do these things have wings?
Yes, they do.
Okay, so my first thought was to like shove it off the loft. So that's not gonna work. I probably can't use my bow and arrow with it up close. I guess I'm just gonna start with my. I'm gonna jump down.
No problem.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. No stress at all. You can move your character wherever you want inside the building.
Okay. I think just there. And I will take a shot at the one that was jumping me if I can.
You can totally do that. Because you are stepping out of combat with it, it doesn't have a reaction, so it can't attack you. Don't worry.
Oh, perfect. Okay, that was my worry. That is a 24 to hit.
That hits.
I probably don't get sneak attack, but...
Sneak attack works differently in this game, though. So read it
Yes.
carefully.
Have advantage on the attack roll. Or yeah, okay, I definitely can't. So hit it for 4.
All right. It screeches in pain as your arrow caroms off the. It's sort of thick, leathery hide, but still kind of gouges a good shot into it. At 8, there's some sounds of fighting outside. Finally, we arrive at Odette. Odette, just as it had done several times before, saving your bacon, your sword had prodded you awake and had warned you that danger was imminent. And you know that it would have reached out also to your compatriots, preventing them from being surprised by these creatures. So you are up and about and ready to take care of business. What would you like to do?
Yes, hop into action as much as possible. So it sounds like the baddies aren't in the building yet. They're hanging outside.
The baddies are in. There are 2 in the lofts above you, and then there are some outside.
Okay. Goodness gracious. I'm honestly just trying to think of the best way to tackle this. I'm gonna at least call out to Went of Vent, stay close. Mattis, you good?
Alex, you just received a hail from Ysterra giving you an advantage.
Thank you. Wonderful. I think in that case, might as well go meet them up there in the loft and just thud and try to hit something while they're there.
All right, which one would you like to go and visit?
I'm going to go with the one to the left.
All right, you climb up that little ladder there and find yourself face to face with this creature.
We're going to try to hit it. We'll see what happens.
Don't forget to call your advantage beforehand.
You're right.
Use them.
I might as well. We have
Use
2.
them.
Let's use it.
You have 3 right now because you got.
Oh, that's right. I just got the 3rd.
You
You're
got
right.
one from
I can
Brawl,
count.
one from Kurt, and you got another one from Ysterra, I think.
It's hard being so popular.
I think Kay got one earlier also from
Yes.
Stacy UK.
So I got a total of 50, or not 52. Goodness, that would be crazy. 22.
That hits.
Okay, wonderful. I do not have my shield up. I am hitting 2-handed currently, and it's going to be for 11 damage.
Well, just before you hit it, your sword, which has a few interesting abilities, but one of them is that it has an ability to sort of detect the creatures that you're fighting. Just before you hit, your blade starts to glow this golden hue, this golden aura, and it strikes with radiant damage, which seems to really affect this thing as it screams in pain as the light of the radiant damage really kind of bites into it. So you're going to be doing double damage on it.
Whee!
That was 11 damage?
Yes.
All right, so then you do 22 damage.
And it and all of its friends die immediately, right?
No, it screams in pain and becomes even more determined to eat you, which is what it's going to do here in a second. But before it does that, it howls back and screams with this high-pitched, almost inaudible sound that wafts over everyone. And in that scream, you hear the whispers that you've been hearing for the past little while, sort of being carried through on this scream. I'm going to need everyone to do a couple of rolls here. So the first thing that you're going to do is everyone's going to do a charisma saving throw, with your target being 15.
Definitely using one of my advantages.
Me too.
Don't forget you also have that extra plus 1k.
Yeah, sweet.
Hey, 15 on the nose.
Damn. Even with the advantage, not great. 11.
I got 19.
All right. So both Wint and Mattis, you're okay for this first part. You, however, Odette, the whispers that are being carried by the scream find their way inside your brain, and they start reaching and making you doubt yourself, making you doubt what you're doing, making you doubt your dedication, making you doubt your skill, making you doubt that you will survive. You will take one shadow from the whispers. And as the scream now reaches everyone's ears, I'm going to need everyone to make a wisdom save.
I'm going to use another one.
21.
Anyone's good?
10.
I'm glad I used the advantage. That is a 17, 18.
All right. So again, Mattis and Wint, you are fine. You, however, Odette, feel this incredible sense of dread and fear that seeps right into you. And not only does it at first create this feeling that you need to flee and not face this thing, but it goes even further, and you feel this deep lethargy, this deep paralysis sort of come over you, and you find that you don't even have the strength to move, and your sword arm falls down, and your sword, the tip of your sword hits the platform, and you find yourself sort of just leaning there, unable to move, wanting to run away so bad, but being absolutely unable to. After that, this one is going to hop on down on you, Mattis. It comes at you with 2 claws out, doing 2 attacks. So the first one's going to hit on 17.
Hits.
The second one's going to be a 7, so that's probably going to miss.
Yeah, that is.
You will take from that attack. You'll take 5 points of damage as it double claws you, slashing at you, and gouging these deep furrows. From up close now, like this, and in the light, you can clearly see that this appears to be some kind of perhaps undead creature or something like that, as you can see that the skin is rotting and kind of falling apart, certain pieces exposing bones and whatnot.
Okay.
Back up to, the creature up here, having done the scream thing, comes over to you, Odette, lifts up its arms and its wings. They envelop you, and you feel its hot, fetid breath as it brings its mouth down to your shoulder and starts to gnaw and bite down into your neck and shoulder. On your action, you will be able to make another saving throw to try and get out of this. Back up to the top with Mattis. This thing is on you now, kind of clawing and pawing at you. You can definitely hear that there's some sort of scuffle going on in the loft still. What would you like to do?
Okay. First thing that I am going to do is, I think I'm going to do this for Odette. So as the creature is attacking, hearing the commotion up above and seeing its wings and such as it, launches itself at Odette, I am going to reach up, grab onto my chest. Buried underneath my clothes is a holy symbol of Delvorminath, and I'm going to say, when courage fails, remember lore. What came before can help you once more. And that is going to send this burst of magic out from Mattis and envelop Odette's mind. Odette, you will get a rhyme of lore, so you will get to roll 2d6 and take the better of the 2 on any of your next checks that you make. That was a bonus action, and for my action, crossbows getting tossed to the ground, reach in, grab a dagger, and just slash across this thing that just attacked me. That is a 19 to hit. For 3, 4, 5 damage.
Okay, I am going to shoot up at the one gnawing on Odette right now. There is another enemy of the target. So, I mean, technically, another enemy of the target is within 5 feet. Could I do sneak attack now? That's true. Okay.
You get sneak attack on the one attacking me, just saying.
Whoa. Hey, we're throwing around some words. What do you mean I'm not threatening it?
You're a little preoccupied with yourself.
I feel like we're just throwing around words. We don't know what they mean. It's fine.
I'll try to hit the one that's coming from Mattis. I think you can stand to lose a little bit of blood, Odette. So that's 16 to hit. Awesome. Okay. 6 plus 3, 9. I'm in a pretty good spot. Faster than the slowest people, so it's going well. Oh, I think you muted yourself.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Bleak.
What the? All right. Cool. Man.
No, actually, that wasn't the Stream Deck Raven. He just pressed mute on his
Yeah,
microphone.
I'm just dumb. There's just me being dumb. Odette, you get to make a saving throw, but before you do, this thing is biting into you. Its fangs have sunken really deep into your neck and your skin, and you can tell that it's drawing sustenance from you, but strangely enough, it doesn't feel like it's drawing blood. You feel yourself getting more and more lethargic and more dispirited and more fatigued as it's draining you of something or other. But you get to do another roll. You get to do another wisdom save.
All right, last advantage. We got this. I believe in us.
And jump for your D6.
Yes, and my D6. You said I roll 2 and I take whichever one.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so I'm gonna roll the roll or the save first, and then the 6s. Okay, we're starting with 11 plus 2 is 13. I can do math. It's going to be 18 total.
Excellent. You make the roll. You find somewhere, somehow, a little bit of energy, enough to take an action. So what would you like to do?
We can't abide this. I think it's going to try and sink the blade, at least into its sides, while it's grabbed onto me. Not necessarily trying to break the grapple, just trying to use it leverage-wise to stab it.
Okay, I'm gonna have to impose a disadvantage on you though, because you're
naturally
being grappled and you got a big sword and.
It's clumsy. I get you. All right. You got this. I believe in you.
Hey, Rolling Nomads, thank you very much for the raid. Welcome in. We appreciate you so much. We are playing a little game of Dark Ysterra, which we are using the Lord of the Rings 5e system, the variant rules by freely to play. Thank you for joining us. You're right in the middle of a lot of, for lack of a better word, sucking action going on, as these strange sort of psychic vampire bats are terrorizing these poor players. What did you get, Alex?
I could have got a nat 20. For the record, I could have. One of the dice listened to me. Otherwise, I got a 14.
14. This is unfortunately as you struggle to bring up the sword and try to hit them, but it's still kind of got its wings and its arms wrapped around you, and you are unable to maneuver this this instrument of yours.
Can I use my movement to throw us to the ground below?
I'm going to say no, because that would be too much like an action.
Sure. I understand.
But, yeah, so your movement basically is restrained at this
Cool.
particular point. But at least it's no longer biting you, and you're no longer lethargic, which is good.
Also a big bonus.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, then they get to go. The one on Miko will... let's see what they will do. Probably something terrible. Reaches out and gonna make an attack on you. Ooh, natural 20.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Miko, go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw. DC is gonna be 15.
I'm gonna roll my last advantage with that. Whew, 19.
All right,
Thank God.
excellent. With the saving
The other
throw,
one was 2.
with the saving throw, you will take half of this damage, which is going to be so 9 divided by 2. So you'll take 4 necrotic damage. As where the creature hits you, the skin starts to turn a little black and starts to peel. But on top of that, there's the claw attack, which was on the natural 20. So you're going to take double damage on that bad boy.
Uh-oh.
So there'll be 8, 10, 12 points of damage. As the claw.
Okay. Mattis is not looking good. Mattis got rolled.
And you also got a hail from Varl Mattis, so...
Oh, thank God, Varl.
Yeah. Meanwhile, up in the loft, this creature, which is still kind of got its arms and its wings around you, Odette, it's going to roll a 19, tightens its grip around you, and then jumps up, and as it does, its wings unfurl, and you fly through the roof with it. And as you go, it starts to drag you over there with a pretty clear intention, you feel, of dropping you over the side of this little promontory. As you fly, you will notice that there are 2 of these suckers that are fighting Yorvin. It's kind of keeping him at bay a little bit, but he's definitely in some trouble. Son of a nutball. Sarah was that the best. I love it. Son of a nutball kitten. Back up to the top, Mattis. Things are looking bleak.
Yeah, they're not looking great, and I'm guessing this creature that is attacking me does not look all that injured.
Well, I will say that it is bloody.
Okay.
In fact, both of them are. So you got that going for you.
Great. Wonderful. I don't think I have much choice. I think I need to clutch tightly onto the ancient book, leather book that I have, and invoke some of my medicinal capabilities. And unfortunately will use my action to do so. But I feel like I need to attempt to heal thine self.
Physician, heal thyself.
So I have a blessing on this roll. It's a medicine check. That's a natural 20 for a total of 28.
Wow.
So I actually heal 18 points of damage.
So much for not a lot of healing. But you can only do that like twice, so.
3 times now. But yes, not very much. Oh yeah, and I had used the Rhymes of Lore. And unfortunately, I am assuming that Odette is now out of range for me to use my lore ability.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to use my bonus action for Cunning Mind, and I'm going to threaten this creature with my dagger, granting a help action to Wint. So, Wint, you will get to roll your attack roll with advantage on this
sick.
creature.
Sweet. Thank you.
And that's it for me.
Alrighty then. Wint, you saw this creature fly off with Odette, busting through the roof and carrying her off. You know not where.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled about that. I'm gonna draw my bow and be like, "Hey, Delvorminath, it worked 2 days ago, so second time's the charm." That is 24.
So I'm going to ask you. I'm just going to ask you a question. Okay, you are aware of the special power on your bow, the magical success?
Yes.
Might not be a bad time to use that. So what that does is that you get an automatic natural 20.
Oh, a crit. Okay, yeah, absolutely. I would definitely use that then.
Now, which one do you want to shoot if you use that? Because you could conceivably pop out the door and take a shot at the one that's carrying Odette.
Mm-hmm. I thought you meant between the screamy thing and Mattis for a second.
Yeah, no, there's that too. But I mean, seeing as how he's the only one with healing, you probably want to avoid.
Yeah. Well, I did just see him heal himself, so yeah, I think I'll poke out. I'll take a sniper shot. Although I will just have to hope that Odette's not super high in the sky right now.
What do you have to do to activate this power?
Ooh, what do I have to do to activate this power? Let me double check here. So I'll be like, I won't say Delvorminath, I'll say night follows day. And now I will shoot Odette out of the sky, I guess.
So here's the thing with magical success. So in this game, in this version of 5e, in order to mimic some of the impossible things that characters do in Lord of the Rings, there's this thing called magical success. So you can get the ability to use magical successes for certain things. In your case, this means that you can literally make an impossible shot. So not only does the magical success give you a natural 20, but you can make some kind of off-the-wall call shot, like something that people would look at and assume it's just like, oh my god, this is like a gift from the gods or magical. I don't know if you want to do that. You can just shoot it and do damage, but you can also, if you want, try to come up with some impossible cockamamie freaking, what's his name, the elf in...
sliding down a bunch of stone stairs on a shield and shooting forwards.
Exactly.
Yeah. Making the eagles come from Isengard. Okay.
Yeah, basically you can be Legolas and go like, I'm going to do this impossible shot. You know, or like when he's running up the stones that are falling, and you know, like that's what a magical success is meant to emulate.
I'm going to say, hey, Mattis, watch this. And then I'm going to lean out the open window. I am going to have my bow above my head, kind of like I'm like the guitar players when they play behind their head. I'm going to do that. I'm going to peek. I'll say, I'm going to shoot. How is Odette being held?
So she's being held by the creature's hands. It's kind of got the hands wrapped around her, and its wings are kind of batting out behind it.
I want to line it up so that while it's making a beat, I will shoot and it will go through both wings and both arms, kind of pinning it, and it's going to fall out of the sky.
Perfect. That's literally, I think, what Legolas would do. So you lean back, say the words, night follows day. Your bow lights up for a brief moment with this dusk-like light that shimmers through it. And as you pull the string and let fly of the arrow, just as the creature flaps down its wings, Odette, you see this arrow come through and pin both wings and both arms together around you like this, and with a screech, you and the creature go tumbling to the ground. Because it's wrapped around you, I'm going to say you don't take any damage, but you roll very precariously close to the edge here as it falls down like a brick, and then you roll together. You are still held with it because now the wings and the arms are pinioned together, so you're still held in its arms, but you are on the ground now at least. Excellent shot. Good job. As we'll see, you're kind of like half-ass hanging there. Speaking of which, Odette, what do you do?
Yeah. What do I do on my turn? What a great question. I need to get the hell out of this person's arms. It's been a great journey. I hate this. I would like to break free, please. Oh, do I need to do a check?
Give
or
me a
can I
strength check. Yeah, just give me a strength check. Yeah.
Strength. Okay, yeah, I got this. I'm not sure why I'm rolling 2 dice. I'm hopeful. It's not bad. It's 15, but it could have been better.
All right, well, you beat it. So you kind of rip its arms and its wings apart from the arrow. The arrow rips through it. You would have done damage, 2K, so go ahead actually and roll the damage, would you? So it was an automatic crit, so you'll do full damage and then roll on top of it.
Oh, roll on top. Oh, sweet. Okay. So, does the +3 get added
After.
twice?
No.
Or just once? Okay.
No.
Perfect. So,
And sneak attack does apply because it was with a well, maybe not because it was automatic crit and you didn't roll, so
Yeah.
maybe it doesn't apply because advantage.
makes
You'll
sense.
never sneak attack this entire game.
Ripped.
I
Uh,
tried
You did earlier.
giving them that ability.
I got 15.
All right, excellent. That did a lot of damage. The creature like "Rah," kind of on the ground and sort of trying to go up. Now its wing is kind of flapping uselessly. Go ahead, Odette. You managed to break free and you move there. Do you want to? This is Sparta.
Yeah, I do.
Go for
Absolutely.
it. Give me a to hit roll.
Okay. All right. We got this. Hey, that's gonna be 24.
Excellent. What do you say as you kick this thing off the side of the cliff with its ripped wings?
Probably something really cool, like something that I could think off the top of my head. That's I will not fear you in your death.
And you kick it and it goes off the side and it tries to flap its wings. As it does, the rips in it just get bigger and bigger, and as it screams, it spirals down and disappears down into the nothingness.
Don't even, once over the cliff too, I don't even look to make sure it goes down. I'm just so confident. I just turn around, and I would like to make my movement towards Yarvin, while shouting to the friends in the house area, if you need help.
As you turn around and take a look at the Yervin situation, you notice that one of these creatures is on the ground dead. You notice that quite a bit of a distance away, the other one is carrying Yervin's limp, unmoving body away, and it's already kind of off far enough in the distance. It's over the chasm, and it's heading away. And as you look in the distance towards where it's going, you see off in the very distance an island starting to emerge out of fog and gloom. I will say that you then turn and head back towards the house. Inside, Mattis, what would you like to do?
Fully having expected an arrow to come flying over his shoulder and like puncture this creature in front of him whilst he distracted it, and looking back and seeing Wint hanging out of a window with this smug look of confidence and glee upon his face, on their face, I think Mattis will just roll his eyes heavily and attack with his dagger.
Go for it.
Actually, you know what? Before I do that, I can actually use my Rhymes of Lore on myself. I think, let me just double check. Yes, I can use my Rhymes of Lore on myself. So I am going to do that to give myself that bonus 2d6. I will say, the tides of fate now shift to you. Strike hard, strike sharp, and see it through. And I will attack this creature. So that is, well, I didn't even have to use my Rhymes of Lore because that's another natural 20 on this beast. Hello?
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a nat 20.
Oh, excellent. Awesome. Sorry.
Yeah. So is this max plus dice or do I
Yeah.
have to double dice?
No, it's
Max plus dice. Cool.
yeah.
Okay. So that is going to be 13 total points of damage.
Pretty good. All right, nice. As you tear into it, you realize it doesn't have a lot of life left. It does have a little bit still as you hit it, and it kind of... I think I forgot to have it do its attack on you earlier, but we'll call that a win for
I'm
you.
okay with that.
It stumbles back a little bit, but it's still there. Wind.
Now to clean up in here, I'll take a pot shot at this guy now.
Go for it.
That is 15.
That hits on the nose.
Sweet. Hopefully this is a little bit. That is 9 points of damage.
Oh, it stumbles back, an arrow in its chest, and it's still got a little bit of life left in it, and it looks like maybe it wants to try to flee as it's looking at the hole in the ceiling. Odette,
Did you
come
use your sneak
running
attack?
in.
I didn't use my sneak attack.
You got sneak attack because I'm attacking it.
Go for it.
Oops, sorry.
Odette,
Oh,
do it.
that's a 6 on that die.
Excellent. Well, that's enough then, as your
There we
shot, which you thought was going into the shoulder, actually kind of ricochets off his armor and goes into his throat. And it reels back and falls down on its behind. And as the echoes of the fight fade away, you see ahead of you through the window, and as I was saying, coming out of the fogs and the mists ahead of you, an island looming ahead. This... Oh god, I hate it when that does. As you begin approaching the island, your heart still beating from the adrenaline and the fight, your wounds still stinging, the near-death experience of some of you still very fresh in your mind. The first thing that strikes you is the silence. The air hangs heavy, thick with the scent of salt and something a little darker. There's something more metallic to it. Even the waves seem to whisper lest they be discovered. The coast is jagged. The cliffs rise sharply from the churning gray sea, their edges eroded into unnatural shapes by time and wind. As the beast carrying you nears the shore, you catch sight of small, somber villages clinging to the rocky coastline. Their buildings are squat, made of dark stone, their roofs steep and curved, draped in shadows even under the weak light of the overcast sky. Behind the villages, the dark silhouette of the island looms, towering, foreboding. High above them, immense mountain peaks stretching into the clouds, their jagged forms covered in perpetual shadow. The mountains seem to pulse with an ancient, forgotten power, like the island itself is alive, watching, waiting, though lying dormant. At the center of the island, you can make out the forest, a dense, unwelcoming place where the trees are unlike any you've seen before. Their bark is deep crimson, their leaves a burning amber that flickers in the dim light like the embers of a dying fire. There's no sign of movement within the forest, only the stillness, oppressive and absolute. You feel that this place holds something powerful, something lost, something otherworldly. At the heart of the forest stands a castle, impossibly vast and beautiful in its own way. Its walls are the same shade of deep red as the trees that surround it, rising like a fortress of fire and shadow. The castle's spire pierced the sky, sharp and angular, their surfaces gleaming with a faint cosmic glow. The structure of alien construction, almost an extension of the island itself. As the beast approaches and you finally step onto the shore, you find the sand to be a gray-black silt that shifts underneath your feet and marks your boots as ash would. While you perhaps expected the air to be acrid and smoky, it is in fact pleasantly sweet, and you notice fine motes of red and amber floating toward the shore from the crimson forest. Yet the place feels oppressive, dank and unwelcoming, and what you first thought were the whispers of the tide coming in, you now realize are words. Whispers in an alien tongue that slips into your mind and disturbs your thought. Please give me a charisma saving throw.
Glad I still have that D6.
The same scene.
I got a
18.
16.
16.
Miko?
I got an 18.
All of you manage to resist the effects of the whispers, which seem to be increasing in power and volume. And as you approach, or rather land on the shore, you see people from the little villages moving, figures that start to walk towards you, coming from the island. But that will be for next time. As we end tonight, our first adventure into Dark Ysterra.
Nice.
Battles Linger. My friends, thank you very much. You all did well. That combat was a little rough, but you handled it very well. Thank you very much. Please go ahead and if you have anything that you would like to share with our audience about something you're doing, please go ahead and do that while Miko looks for a suitable raid target for us. And we bring this little first evening of Dark Ysterra to a close.